So today is the final day of our workshop. So today we will discuss agribusiness and technology. So before we start, just a second. Oh.
Okay, Mr. Jameson got bumped out, so just give it a few minutes till he gets back in. Mr. Jameson got bumped out, lady. So I'm trying to get him to see if everything is okay. The lecturer is rejoining herself. He has some technical difficulties.
Hello all. Sorry about that. I wasn't aware I was bumped out of the call. It could be something I did on my end. My apologies for that. Sorry. Thanks for the host to calling me. I was actually playing a video for you all. Maybe when I change screen to play the video, I maybe got bumped out. So can everyone hear me?
Yes, sir.
Sorry, my bad about that. Let me share my screen again. I was actually playing a video to start our
Valley plugged the opportunity to exhibit their business during a youth farmers market held over the weekend on the Roseau playing field. Minister responsible for youth development and sports, Honorable Kenson Kazim.
Can everyone hear the
visited
video?
market
See and hear the
to
video?
express his delight with the initiative.
Very happy that the time ambassador is here. Showing that Taiwan is really committed to ensuring security in our nation. Coming under the heels of COVID-19, food security is really a big initiative for us as a government. And we continue to encourage our young people to get involved in agriculture. And so having farmers markets in communities such as Roseau will really get young people to come around and see the benefit of being involved in agriculture. So very good event here today. I'm looking forward to many more of them. There was one in Uganda a few weeks ago, and we're hoping that all communities can really embrace agriculture, alternative forms of agriculture in terms of poultry, in terms of cattle. And we've seen all of this displayed here today. I'm very proud of this initiative.
Well, I'm a farmer. I mean, all of these things associated with farming, site preparation, to plant the crop. So we have mahogany, we have white cedar, all these things have been taken out from the land. And I've been using these things to make picture frames, mirrors, pencil cases, just you name it, craft, just call it craft. So in the mix, we have white cedar, which is very strong. We don't really need preservatives for these. And you know about mahogany, all these expensive doors, they're made with mahogany. So you know that when you have a piece of mahogany, it's very pricey.
Natural is a natural skincare company where we promote healthy skin. We have a wide variety of products from our soap bars, our body scrub, our body washes, and body lotion, and more. The idea behind natural was because I used to suffer with skincare issues when I was younger, and I find that the skincare companies, their products were a bit too expensive and they didn't work for me. So I did my research, and after many trials and errors, Natural was created.
We have had many farmers market around the island. There is one we established about almost 10 years ago in Rosalie, and it is still ongoing. The reason for this, we have a mantra in the ministry: eat fresh and eat best. And this is something that we themselves to know, because we can produce the best food and we need to appreciate what we grow, both for health and also to lower our food import bill. We have an initiative in the ministry which is called the 7-crop project. And those crops were designed to ensure that farmers grow these crops so that we can lower our food import bill, which happened about 3 years ago. In so doing, this was financed by the Taiwanese government, and because of its success, we were able to reduce it by 5 of those crops, 30%. We are now moved into the second phase, which is again sponsored by Taiwanese for another 5 years. So we are encouraging farmers and solutions to grow what we eat Each person is just best because our food security is key. Our minister, that his mantra is food and nutrition security. It is very, very important. So we welcome this initiative and we welcome more of those farmers markets around the island.
The Roseau Valley Farmers Market was an initiative by youth worker for Castries South and Castries Southeast, Nathan Hutchinson, in collaboration with the Taiwanese Technical Mission. From the Ministry of Youth Development and Sports, I'm Ryan O'Brien.
I wanted to start our presentation today with this video, but my apologies that I got bumped out and didn't realize that. And I had the video playing on my screen for the longest while, not knowing until the host called me. Thanks for that. So back to the presentation now. Sorry. Sure. So know your agribusiness. What I demonstrated earlier on a video about agribusiness. So I know everyone on this meeting, on this call is a business entrepreneur. So can I get some feedback into more? What do you understand? Or what do you understand by knowing your business? Can we get some feedback? Let's try to make it interactive a bit. It's a frequent term you hear all over the place. Know your business. What do you understand by that term?
Hello, good evening, everyone.
I
will give a try at it. Knowing your business means know what you sell, know who you're selling for, know what your objectives are, know what your profits are. That's just my take. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you very much. Very good.
Well, you're welcome.
Someone else, what do you understand by knowing your business? Know your business.
Good evening.
Hi, good evening.
I think it means understanding your true goals, your vision, your mission you have for your business, and knowing who your, let's say, your business partners are. Like the last lady said, knowing who your customers are, knowing what their needs are, and knowing how to improve the business, understanding how to improve the business. That's what I think.
Yep, very, very correct. Thank you very much. Can I get 2 more responses?
Good evening to all. Can I try?
Sure.
Just to expand on what the others have said, basically that would include knowing the environment in which your business operates in terms of your competition, who the various stakeholders are, in terms of suppliers and your market in general.
Thank you very much. One more person. One more person. It doesn't matter if your opinion or your thinking is the same as what someone has said. Just the engagement. Someone for Eli Box said, you have to know your products inside out, benefits, and so on. The next point, in terms of a quick review, what should you know about your agribusiness? Question pretty much tied back to the first question you answered. The same thing you said about knowing your business are the things you should know about your business, pretty much. And then Here are a few things you should know about your business. One, you should know your numbers, know your financials. You should know whether your business making a profit or if it's making a loss. You should know what your sales like, what your revenue numbers are. You should know what your cost is, what your cost of operation is. You should know your product cost, like I mentioned. You should know how much it costing you to manufacture that product, which can help you in terms of determining your price. Although we are price acceptors, price takers, but it's very good to know your product cost. Next, we also need to separate our business and personal expenses. This is important for all businesses, especially you will find it becomes more important when you go to the bank, when you start negotiating for financing, for loans and those stuff. Everyone wants to know what you spend on the business separate to your personal expenses. So it is very important to separate your personal expenses with the business expense. And you could always find assistance to do so in terms of find some accounting services. You may have a friend that know, you could go online and so on. You should also have a separate bank account for your business vis-a-vis your personal bank account. It is very important to do so, to separate your personal banking and the business banking. Madam Moderator, can you have a poll for me, please? Basically asking how many persons have a separate bank account for their business. I know many persons with businesses, however, the business does not have a separate bank account and they are using their personal bank account for the business. You should desist from doing that and have a separate bank account for your business. Moderator created the how many persons are registered business here?
Yes, the poll is in.
Yeah, so if you could edit that poll so that we get an understanding of how many persons have a separate bank account for their business. Basically, how many persons treating their business finances and their personal finances separate. Also, there is a saying about your business that goes like, mind your business or someone will mind it for you. Have anyone heard that phrase before? Or do you understand that phrase? Can you expand on it? What do you understand by mind your business or someone is minding, sorry, someone will mind it for you? Anyone? I guess the chat is quiet today. I started off with a video so that to get you engaged, but you seems quiet today. The idea basically is if you have a business and you don't mind it, you don't pay interest in the business, you don't monitor what is happening, someone, trust me, someone will do it for you. And the harsh reality is you may not always like the outcome or the results of what the person is doing. So it is very important for you yourself to take personal interest in your business and to understand what is going on in your business. The last point that the need to planning and budget. This is one of the points I had in terms of preparing for the workshop to expand on. It has been shown up for, because it was out of the scope of what I'm discussing now. But it is also important, I'll just touch on it, very important to plan and budget for your business. We discussed planning and budgeting when we did the business plan. So it's pretty much in same line, same phase. So in planning, you'll know, you'll budget properly how much money you have, how much money potentially is, what's the cost of this, or how much revenue, so that there is no surprises. You basically plan to eliminate surprises and know whether or in essence to give your business initiative a chance of succeeding. So we move into the definition of agribusiness. Basically, most of that session is to focus on agribusiness. By definition, we have agribusiness refers to a sector of the economy that encompass all activities relating to the production, processing, distribution, and marketing of agricultural products and services. Agribusiness. Sorry?
Excuse
Go
me.
ahead.
You still
Sure.
have the screen of the video on.
Oh, sorry. Thanks for. So I need to stop sharing and. Sorry. Thank you.
You're welcome.
You seen my screen now? You seen the PowerPoint presentation now?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Sorry about that earlier on. So basically what we were discussing earlier on was what do you understand by knowing your business? What should you know about your business? And some of the points I highlighted are knowing your numbers, knowing your financials, knowing your cost of production, the need to separate business and personal expenses, have a separate bank account, mind your business, or someone will mind it for you. And the last point that there was the need for planning and budgeting, which we've discussed in the last session we had. And we're moving along to definition of agribusiness. The Zoom doesn't seem so like me. So definition of agribusiness. Agribusiness refers to the sector of the economy that encompasses all activities relating to the production, processing, distribution, and marketing of agricultural products and services. Agribusiness includes a wide range of activities such as crop production, livestock farming, poultry and dairy farming, aquaculture, food processing, agricultural equipment manufacturing, agricultural inputs such as seeds, fertilizer, pesticides, whatever it may be. Also the agriculture trade and marketing. So the video I showed earlier on encompassed a wide range of those businesses. We saw craft, we saw manufacturing, we saw agro-processing, we saw food production. I didn't see livestock, but I'm sure that part of the farmers market includes some livestock products and those other stuff. The importance of agribusiness development. Agriculture plays a vital role in the local and global economy, and it is important, and its importance can be highlighted in several ways. Food security, employment and livelihood, economic growth and GDP contribution, rural development and poverty alleviation, trade and international relation, raw material for industries, environmental sustainability, innovation and technology advances. So for food security, I'll just touch on each of those points that highlights the importance of agriculture. For food security, agriculture is the primary source of food production, ensuring that people have access to adequate and nutritious supply of food. It is critical for addressing global hunger and ensuring food security for the growing global population. So therefore, everybody will eat food. It is one of the necessities. Without food, we all die. So that makes agriculture a very important business. So once it's food you manufacture and you sell, you produce, you will sell food. Food will always sell. There is always a need and a demand for food. The second benefit or importance of agribusiness development, it creates employment and livelihoods. Agriculture is a significant source of employment and livelihood for millions of people worldwide, particularly in developing countries. It provides opportunities for farmers, farm workers, and those involved in agriculture value chain, contributing to poverty reduction and rural development. So you could see along the agriculture chain, it provides employment across. You have the farmer, the owner of the farm, he has an earning from agriculture. The farm workers get an earning from agriculture. Along the value chain, you have the transport sector getting a contribution from the sector. You have along the supermarkets, the vendors, the hotels. It's a long and wide chain in terms of the benefits of agriculture. The economic growth and contribution to GDP, gross domestic product. The agricultural sector contributes to the overall economic growth of many countries. It generates incomes, export, and foreign exchange earnings. In some regions, agriculture is a significant contributor to the GDP, supporting economic sustainability and development. In the 80s, 90s, well, the 70s, 80s, and 90s, agriculture was the main source of our GDP through bananas, the exchange of the export of bananas. So agriculture has played a significant role in the economy of St. Lucia, and it will continue to do so. We are now the drivers of that change and the drivers to take agriculture to the next level and continue contributing to the GDP of the country. Rural development and poverty alleviation. Agriculture is often the main economic activity in rural areas. By promoting agriculture development and providing support to rural communities, it helps reduce poverty, inequality, and migration of rural to urban areas. Quite straightforward. The idea really is, in many rural communities, agriculture is the only economic activity happening there. Providing an income for most of the persons in the rural community, hence highlighting the importance of agriculture and agriculture development. It also enables persons from rural communities to stay there and invest within agriculture there. Quite often you find persons leave the rural communities, migrate to the cities, and forget about the agriculture practice back in the rural communities. I'm one of those persons. I left the rural community, went to the city, and after a few years, after accumulating some wealth, I came back and invested in agriculture in the rural community, trying to develop and grow income in the rural community for many persons to support and benefit. It also supports trade and international relationship. Trade is an international relationship more for export. We had a lot of that through banana back in our days of banana. Raw materials and industries. Agriculture provides raw materials for various industries, including the food processing industry, the textile industry, the biofuels, pharmaceuticals, and more. It supports value-added activities, job creation, and economic diversification. Yet again, another benefit of agriculture. Agriculture supporting other sectors and industries. Environmental and sustainability. Agriculture has an impact on the environment, and sustainable agriculture practices are essential for preserving natural resources, mitigating climate change, and conserving biodiversity. Sustainable agriculture promotes efficient resource management, soil conservation, water management, and reduced use of chemicals. Innovation and technology advancement. Agriculture drives innovation and technology advancement, leading to increased productivity, efficiency, and sustainability. Advances in crop breeding, precision agriculture, irrigation techniques, and farm management system contributes to improve agricultural practices and outcomes. So there are a lot of innovation, a lot of technology being involved in agriculture right now for the advancement of the sector. Social and cultural importance. Agriculture holds significant social and cultural importance, shaping tradition, culture, heritage, and rural landscape. It preserves indigenous knowledge, traditional farming practice, the local food system, fostering cultural diversity and identity. Overall, agricultural importance in the local and global economy extends far beyond the production of food. The impact of various sectors contribute to economic growth, sustains livelihood, supports trade, and play a critical role in environmental sustainability and social well-being. So we, the farmers, we, the agri-entrepreneurs, we may feel that our contribution is just to agriculture, but our contribution to agriculture do provide support to the local economy, to also to support to other sectors as well. So economic and value chain of agriculture for agribusiness. Economic and value chain management are essential components of agribusiness. Let's explore each of these aspects. Before I go forward, does anyone have any questions? Are you all in agreement with the importance of agribusiness development?
I think we'll be fine.
Yeah.
Anything someone wants to add to there? Do we acknowledge and accept our rightful position in the economy, in society, by contributing to food security, contributing to employment, economic growth? I take it we all accept that. There are a few comments, absolutely, yes.
I have a quick question. Where in St. Lucia do we find the statistics of how many people are involved in agriculture? I know everybody's complaining about getting workers and stuff. Where can we get statistics on that?
The statistics department should have that information. I'll say should cautiously. Yeah, they should have that information. I think in collaboration with NIC, because when you submit your NIC payments, it specified what sector and what the person is employed, what the person is doing. There is a labor issue. the reality is, the truth about it is, persons no longer want to work hard. No longer they are taking the easy exit into the hospitality industry, where they believe, well, it is a much lighter and easier work for them. I think the solution for agriculture is to innovation, use of technology, so it can attract more persons back to the sector. But many persons are leaving the sector.
I believe the Ministry of Agriculture should have the statistics in terms of persons, how many persons involved in the agricultural business. I know for sure in terms of egg production, every month there is a ministry official who comes and collects information pertaining to our egg production. And we are not the only ones they go to. So Ministry of Agriculture, I think they're doing their work. They should have information in terms of other areas. I know they do it for the ruminants. I'm not too sure for banana farmers. At one time, I know they used to, but they do have information. So it would be good to check with extension officers, and extension officers could refer you to the Department of Agriculture, which has such information. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for that information. There is also a statistics department within agriculture as well, but they focus a lot on crop production. In case of the poultry, you said eggs, they'll focus on the production aspect. But in terms of information on the number of employees and whatnot, workers in there, I'm not sure they're tracking it clearly. That's why I refer to the statistics department. I know the statistics department do have that information as well, or they would be collaborating with the Ministry of Agriculture for that. But it will not hurt to ask them, or if they don't have it, they will direct you to the right. They will direct you to the right person to do so. Yeah, someone said, Rhonda said the Ministry of Agriculture, but the ID not up to date. But the ID captures the farmer, not necessarily the workers, the number of workers. Not all the workers are certified. The farmer is certified, but not all the workers. The website have some, Rhonda also said the website have some information as well. But is that information up to date? The information you get from the ministry is usual information from the 1970s. I'm exaggerating though, but it's always, it's not current information.
Yes, you are exaggerating.
I think it is, when I last checked, it might have been up to 13 or 14 thereabouts.
Yeah, it's very old.
I was looking for it to put in my business plan.
Yeah. At some point I was trying to get some info on that, and that was not readily available. But most of the information they have is really stuff back in the early 2000s or in the around 2010. They don't have current information. That's not readily available.
But there's also a national plan for agriculture that has you can get some information as well. Not on the workers, but in terms of the number of farmers, persons who do the cattle, the different types of things. So they have it based on that. So you could get that information.
The economic and social review, you might get some.
Yes. Yeah, from that, yes.
So we're moving along to the economic value and value chain of agribusiness. So economic and value management are essential components of agribusiness. Let's explore some of those aspects. In terms of for the economic aspect, we have the market dynamic. Agribusiness operates in a dynamic market influenced by factors such as supply and demand, consumer preference, price fluctuation, and global trade policies. Understanding market dynamics is critical for decision-making, price strategy, and identify business opportunities. With reference to pricing, I'm sure everyone in there, especially those who are crop farmers, would understand that quite a lot. Supply and demand. Once there is a glut in any product, sometimes there is not even a glut in the product, they would flood the price. And when that price is flawed, it takes so long to go back up. Most times, in terms of the glut has gone away, the supply has improved, the demand, of the product has improved, looking like of meeting the supply, but the price is still the same. This is one of my biggest challenges in agriculture as a personal farmer. For that reason, I no longer plant like big farms. For example, I used to plant 15, 20,000 tomatoes. I stopped doing that. Most I will do is sometimes 5,000. On average, I might do 1,000 to 3,000 depend on the crop. Because sometimes you have it, you have nowhere to sell it, and you end up having to give it away quite cheaply. And cultivating such big farms take, in terms of the cost of doing so, is quite high. I understand my costs, so therefore I mitigate my costs, and also by reducing my total production. I'm sure everyone here can relate to the market dynamics, especially for cash crops like tomatoes, lettuce, cucumber. Profitability.
Is it that, sorry, yeah?
Sorry, you can
Is it
go
that you
ahead.
diversify? Is it that you diversify instead? So
Yes.
instead of the large numbers in one, you would plant a variety, probably 10 different crops?
Yes, I diversify, and also I stagger the production. So instead of doing 15,000 crop, I'll do a free, and then maybe in a period that I know, for example, leading up to Christmas, I might do 5,000. The risk is higher because of rainfall, but that's the time you get tomatoes have the best price and it moving the fastest. But instead of planting a big crop one time, I diversify, plant other crops, or plant less and plant it every month. So there is a more consistent supply. Answer your question?
Hello.
Yes, thank you.
Yep. Someone have another point?
Hi, good evening. Yes,
Evening.
I have been following a couple of agricultural classes, and I have this very big question in my mind. I was recently at one of the agricultural class. It was done by the Ministry of Agriculture, and they were giving us the statistics of how much of the crops are being imported and how much of the crops are being exported. So my question is, there is a lot of deficit in certain areas, and there are certain crops which are being produced in excess. Not that it is fit to be exported, but even for the import level, they're doing it in excess during certain periods. So my question is, say, does the government, or are there any small like business associations in the farms which can come together and say like, for example, cocoa, how a lot of them are growing the same crop, so that, if they have to give it to one person or export it, they have something like that. Is there any other association other than cocoa in this agricultural business where a few farmers come together and grow one crop in the view of doing an export, or in the view of supplying it to a certain business? Did I come? Is my question making sense?
No, yes, it does make sense, and I totally agree with you. I'll give you my personal view on my response on that. In terms of other crops, banana, we have a banana industry where you find this. It's pretty much, regardless the fact that we plant less bananas, but once the ministry talks about agriculture, they focus heavily on bananas. So there is a whole marketing unit, a production unit for bananas. So that is the crop we export the most, and have been from in the early 2000s, in the 1970s, thereabout. With reference to the export, most farmers, we have a challenge for market for our produce. Most farmers sell to Massy stores, which is pretty much the largest buyer. We also have the hotels buy independently. We have marketing board, which buy less on a smaller scale. We also have some government institutions who buy independently as well, such as the hospitals, the prisons thereabout. We have vendors. Some of the retail vendors by the market, they don't grow their own crop. They buy from the farmers and they sell by the market as well. So in terms of other organizations that buy crops now, we do the same for coconut, dry coconut as well. We had a cocoa factory. I know the guy is still doing there's someone doing some coconut oil. So whether that happens for products that either have to export or agro-processing driven, but it's not organized on a large scale for all products.
So my next question is, so how they have an association for small business owners? Do you guys have an association for agriculture? Like, do you have the farmers having an association, or it has to be liaised through your contact the field officer? Because everyone is like, hey, I have a question. Okay, go to your field officer. That's the only thing. So there is no other bigger body which can actually move people around? No.
No. There are cooperatives. Back in the 70s, 80s, they established cooperatives. There are by region. There's a Bellevue cooperative. There is the Black Bay cooperative. I know Angers had a cooperative. Salty Buzz had one or have one. Most of them no longer function. They encounter a lot of management challenges and they no longer exist, if I can put it that way. But managing agriculture has not, in terms of as a group, has not been very effective. That's why most people do their own practice, do their own stuff on their own.
Okay, I got you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, you're most welcome. But there is definitely room for more collaboration in agriculture.
Yes, I see that there is no structure in this. This is one field that there is no structure at all. Everybody is just doing themselves. And that is why I feel like there is no encouragement in agriculture, because everybody is just doing their own things. And when I spoke to the extension officer, he says that like, oh, they all have their own methods. They don't want to move from their methods. So it's like, feels like there's a lot of lack of education in the community of agriculture. I'm not criticizing, but yes, as you said,
it
yes,
is the truth.
definitely,
Yeah,
yes.
it is the truth. Everyone does their own stuff. Even from the ministry standpoint, they are very relaxed in it as well. So it's not a information driven sector. It's not like the ministry take the lead on this stuff or have.
I don't think we should rely on the government for anything. I mean, maybe for a few freebies that they provide, but then other than that, I think private organizations should start up, because there is so much room for agriculture over here, and really and truly there's no unity in the farming association. That is what is lacking here. I guess, I mean, maybe Helen's Daughters is a start. Some private entity has to take over, otherwise there's really not much happening.
I totally agree and support you on that.
Thank you. I let me finish the 9 weeks first.
No, it's good. It makes up the time. So product profitability and financial management. Agribusiness aims to achieve profitability and optimize revenue and manage cost. Financial management involves budgeting, cash flow management, investment analysis, and risk assessment. Effective financial management ensures the long-term sustainability of the business. And this is lacking in agriculture. Most farmers don't understand their cost of production. They don't understand their operating costs. They don't understand their profits. A farmer believes if they, well, I'll not say a farmer, most farmers believe whatever they sell is profit. Sometimes the cost to produce what they sell is much higher than the price they sell it. I had a personal encounter with a farmer once, and he said to me, when there is a glut in the market, that's when you plant more because you have workers to pay. So you'll sell more to try to make the same amount of money, or in some cases less, because you have tools, you have workers to support, you have family to support on other expenses. But my question to him is that you may think you are making a profit, or you're looking at the cash flow, how much money you use your sales, but your cost of operation for that extra volume might be twice as much. It might increase significantly and putting you in an adverse situation, whereas you taking more from your money to operate to do that. So farmers need to understand that in essence, so that they can make better decisions in terms of how much they plan, what they plan, when they plan, and that type of stuff. Also, risk.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
But what I'm thinking, as you speak, so good night, as you think, what I'm wondering is the literacy part of it. How many of them actually understand how to separate it?
Yeah,
How to separate the profit from the inputs? Because one of the things that we don't really mention or we fail to realize is that even with having a crop, it doesn't mean that you're going to in one crop cycle you're going to reap all your profits. Sometimes it might be throughout different crop cycles you get your monies back. So how many of them actually understand that? Because if you have to, example, even agro processing and all these other things, if you buy machinery and then sometimes it might cost $5,000. You doing that one set of, let's say, you make some, how do you call it?
And you could say any product.
Yes, any product. Will you get, when you sell this, can you say that you have made some money or you have made a profit? No, but because you have that, probably the equipment might cost a lot. You might not even make $5,000 in the first sale. So throughout the cycle, we have to just learn how to take out some of the monies and make that money back before we can actually start counting our profits.
Exactly. That is very true. I've had that conversation with many farmers, and most of them don't really understand that. And I think this is what sessions like this is trying to enlighten and enforce to the participants. It is very, very important to understand your cost in agriculture. Sometimes you have an agriculture business, could be, let's say you buy a greenhouse or you bring in a tractor to plow land. You might not recover your total cost of the land preparation or the crop you plant there in one cycle. So you may have to plant 2-3 crops so that you could actually recover your costs, especially when you pay workers. So the cost of the recurring cost of paying workers is very stretching on agriculture, and a lot of the farmers don't incorporate that in their profits. They look at, okay, I sell $3,000 this week, but to sell $3,000 over the 3 months of that crop, you already spent $6,000. Really and truly, you at a loss of 50%. Yep, especially when they have labor. Yep, so moving to the next point, risk management. Agribusiness faces various risks, including weather-related risks, market volatility, input price fluctuation, and regulatory changes. Implementing risk management strategies such as insurance coverage, hedging, diversification, and business continuity plans is critical to mitigate potential loss. We know that no insurance companies provide insurance coverage for agriculture produce, not even for the in terms of some of the infrastructure they provide insurance for. I included it in that conversation so that I could just highlight part of that, not all the risks that we can mitigate in agriculture. Sometimes you have a crop and the crop may be, you've had the crop in the ground for 3 months, and the week before it harvests, you lose that crop. You cannot successfully say, yeah, I have a successful crop, or I sell the crop until you move it from the ground. Many farmers have lost crops the day before they harvest. Some of them harvest it and bad weather take it away, they lose it. Take COVID, many farmers had already harvested their crops to sell the following day, and the government shut the country. Most of those products cannot be sold again. So agriculture is very, very risky. One of the things I always say to persons are, agriculture is the only business where the farmer spends all his money upfront to produce a crop, sometimes up to 3 months spending money to grow and produce a crop. You sell that crop to a vendor, a supermarket, to any customer. Sometimes you sell it for free. That vendor or supermarket distributor resell that product cash. They get their money upfront. They haven't spent $1 yet. They haven't paid you yet. They get their money upfront. They reinvest that money into so many things. Sometimes take weeks and months to pay you. Whereas they haven't spent no money. They have gotten a product. They have sold it, make a profit, and it's a trouble to pay. So farmers are always in terms of the last in the chain, the supply chain, for especially when it comes to financial benefits or reaping the rewards of agriculture. Sometimes I say to myself, why am I a farmer and not a middleman? Just for those logistics.
I have heard persons from even farmers selling to the hotels having these issues also.
Yep. Hotels worse. Some of the hotels take 3 months to pay. I recall there's a particular hotel that at some point the farmers were applying pressure to receive their money on time. The government intervened, and what the government did for farmers were to buy the farmers' invoice at 8% of the total cost. And when the invoice, having a bank, the St. Lucia Development, buy the invoice at 8% of the cost, and then the bank will collect their money from the hotel after 3 months. To me, government is the one that should be in the best interest of farmers, and say that is madness. Understand? But anyway, we're not there to discuss that. So the next economic aspect of agriculture, of agribusiness, is resource allocation. Efficient allocation of resources include land, labor, capital, and technology is vital for maximize productivity and minimize wastage. Agribusiness need to make informed decisions on resource allocation to optimize the operation and achieve competitive advantages. Within resource management, it spoke to wastage. Wastage is large in agriculture, and there is a cost for wastage. Most persons just look at, okay, they throw this, they throw that, but there is a cost to wastage. So the more you can minimize your wastage, the more you improve your profits. So it is important to focus on your wastage, not only on the products you sell, the good products, but have the team, your workers focus on wastage, to eliminate wastage so that you could improve your profits. It talk about the use of technology. In today's age, it's very hard for me. I'm speaking as a farmer, very hard to get workers to come and plow soil for you again. It's good for persons who invest in technology, invest in tractors, invest in tillers. Groups like this, Helen Daughters, you could have a chiller, a few chillers or a small tractor assigned to you guys so that when it comes for your soil preparation, it makes it easier for you because it becomes harder and harder to get persons to come and do those terms of physical work for you. Also, in terms of technology, well, we'll touch more on technology later on. Value chain management. We have supply chain coordination. Agribusiness involves managing the flow of products, services, and information from farmer to consumer. Effective supply chain coordination ensures a smooth flow of inputs, production process, distribution, and final product delivery. Collaboration with suppliers, processors, producers, and retailers is critical for optimizing efficiency in reducing costs. Along the supply chain, it's very critical to have those coordinations. In St. Lucia, we lack storage in everything we do. So in terms of maintaining the crop or the produce temperature from harvest to the customer, no one does that. You may find a few farms that have a chiller van, a chiller truck, but in terms of in the wide scale, most persons they harvest, the temperature change, that's how you get a lot of wastage and also even damages when transporting the product. So if there are gaps within that coordination, you find that the best quality is not always maintained. Regardless, the farmer produce it on the farm, but it's not always maintained to get into the customer. So it's very important to pay attention to all the stages in the supply chain. Quality control and standards. Maintaining quality standards throughout the value chain is critical for meeting customers' expectations and complying with regulations. Quality controls involve monitoring and managing the production process, handling practices, packaging, and storage to ensure products' identity are safe. Pretty much talk about it when we discuss the supply chain coordination. So all that comes back to quality control. We have traceability and certification. I know in the US and many countries, traceability is a big issue, especially when there are recalls in the sector. For example, all of us have heard recalls in let's say lettuce, romaine, a common one, E. coli or salmonella in lettuce, and they have large recalls. Some of those products are actually already reaching our market, in St. Lucia market, and have to recall it because there were E. coli or salmonella trace on those products. So it's becoming more and more important to have traceability on your farm. On my farm, we practice traceability. So once a customer purchases a product, we can see where it was harvested, what was used on that product throughout its production life. Agribusiness often need to demonstrate the traceability of their product, ensuring transparency and accountability. Traceability systems allow for tracking and verifying the origin, production practices, and quality attributes of the agricultural product. Certification schemes such as organic certification or fair trade certification provide credibility and market differentiation. So some of those groups you mentioned earlier on, like Helen Daughters, I know you all have your farmers market. I'm certain that you all boast that your products are safe, your products are follow all the good agricultural practices. So those are actual value adds that the group on a group level you all can do and ensure facilitate for all your staff, all your farmers, pretty much. Value addition and differentiation. Value addition to agricultural product through processing, agro-processing, packaging, branding, and marketing can enhance profitability. Agribusinesses can differentiate the products through their unique features, certification, sustainability practice, or targeted marketing strategies, creating a competitive advantage in the market. So it is very important to differentiate your product through value adds. For me, on my farm, I have some products which I create value add to them so that I can maximize the sale of it. For example, I grow tilapia, I grow fish. I sell my fish process in my restaurant, in cafe, when we host farm tours. That way I can get more money for the fish because it's processed. I grow sweet corn.
Take a book. What take a book for you to read? Take a book for you to read.
Can you mute your mic, please?
Sorry.
And we have consumer engagement and marketing. Understanding consumers' preferences, market trend, and demands is critical for effective value chain management. Agribusiness need to develop marketing strategies that align with consumers' expectation, utilizing advertising, digital marketing, product labeling, and consumer engagement initiatives to build brand loyalty and by increasing market share. By effectively managing the economic aspects of the value chain, agribusinesses can optimize their operation, achieve profitability, and meeting consumer needs. It involves strategic decision-making, coordination with stakeholders, innovation, and adaptability to market dynamics and changing consumer preferences. So it is very important to consider the customer along our decisions when it comes to our products and services. So we ensure that along that value chain that we maintain quality for our customers. The key component of agribusiness developments. If I move to that, any questions on economic and value chain of agribusiness? The economic aspect with reference to the market dynamics, the profitability, the risk management, how you allocate your resources in terms of the value chain. Any questions at all? With the supplier coordination, the quality control. Any question in the chat? So I guess no question, no one had any question on there. So the key component of agribusiness development, agribusiness development involves various components that contribute to the successful establishment and growth. Here are some of the key components: access to finance and land, infrastructure development, technology advancement and innovation, market linkages and value chain integration, capacity building and skill development. I think those are the 5 components we will be discussing on the key components of agribusiness development. So for the first one, access to finance and land. Access to finance is very critical for the development of agriculture growth and agribusinesses. It is one of the most challenging to get around for most persons due to the high requirements to access finance. The most common means of finance is through loans. Most financial institutions require 100% collateral for the loans, which most farmers in need of money don't have. There is definitely a mismatch with the availability of loans and persons qualified to access those loans. I'm saying that with reference to there are so many programs. I know some of the banks have SLDB, even of recent CODs have. There are many farmers with the needs, but they cannot meet the requirements to access those loans. Most of the farmers with needs for loans lack the collateral to access it. From time to time, there are promotions and grants targeting agribusiness. However, they come with their own challenges, and most of the funds sometimes remain unutilized because it is very challenging to access. As we discussed in one of the earlier slides, that agribusiness, most of agriculture is done for the rural communities, and most of the person in the rural community lack the financing, lack the collateral, lack all the enablers to meet their requirement for loans. So you find those facilities are there, and if you go to SLDB now, you already say, oh, we have the facility, people not taking it. It's not that people not taking the loans, but it's the requirement to access the loans are quite steep. Currently, they do have a loan grant program, which we spoke about on the earlier sessions. I hope most of you guys have already developed your business plan and applying for those loans. I believe it is a easy access. Easy means to access funds, and we all should maximize that opportunity. Access to land is equally critical factor in the success of agribusiness. However, not all farmers have access to land, and this is hindering many persons who wants to invest in farming or existing farmers expanding their operation. So as much as access to finance is very critical, access to land is equally the same for some farmers. There are farmers with access to finance and access to land, and they are not interested in terms of an agribusiness or farming. And there are those who want to do it, but they don't have the finance nor the means. Yet again, another mismatch. We need the authorities to pretty much align the supply and demand when it comes to access to land and finance so that it can grow agriculture. Anyone have any questions on access to finance? I want to expand on that a bit.
Question, please.
Sure, go ahead.
Hello?
Sure, go ahead.
Someone, I just want confirmation. I know how banks and financial institutions operate. If you have a loan that is delinquent, even though you updated it, years later you apply for a loan and there's no forgiveness. But with the new program, I was speaking to someone who has a small business and wanted to apply for that through that program. And she told me she had a loan at one of the banks, because naturally you have to go through all the processes, the credit checking, etc. And she said she had a loan, and she, from what she's understanding, she would not qualify under that program because that loan was in arrears. Her explanation was her loans were being paid beautifully until COVID, where she was unable to work because she was a beach vendor. Is that true, or for that program, they would bend a bit for persons like her? Because I'm not sure, there may be someone in the group who's suffering that same fate.
Yeah. I'll share my views on that, but we also have a member of SEDU. I'm not sure if she's on, Rhonda. If you on, Rhonda, can you, not Rhonda, I think it was Miss Howell. Was it Miss Howell? Is Miss Howell on today? I guess not, but I can share my views on that. In discussion with the committee, the review committee, they said one of the members did say to me that they are doing the credit checks. For me, my personal view is the amount is restricted. It's capped. The maximum amount you'll get is $25,000. The government is already guaranteeing or giving you 70% grant. So pretty much the risk there is only 40%. And for me, it is not worth doing credit checks or even, or pretty much avoiding the person, denying someone from getting a loan because their loan is in arrears or something to that sort. The main reason for me saying that the money is there to help and propel economic growth, economic development. That may very well be what that person needs, what will take that person to the next level, what will enable that person to start back their business, which is a true meaning of why they have that facility. For me, it will deprive the person from that, from that. And it will, for me, it is very sad if that is the case. And I think persons should take that to the media and challenge the authorities on that. That's just my personal view on it. I'm not sure how someone else view it, but I do know, I understand that they are doing credit checks on persons for the loans. Anyone else have any similar experience with that? Because for me, government has already covered 70% of the risk. Why at this stage that sometimes the person that cannot afford it is the person that needed the most? Not sometimes. The person that can afford it is the person that needed the most. To deny them based on such.
Thank you.
Yeah, welcome. But yet again, like I said, it's my personal view on it, not that representing anyone. Anyone has any other views on it?
Yes, I have a quick one. I think, as you said, it's unfair to see that if somebody is in need, that, you know, they're going to deny them that opportunity. However, I want to add that by saying too, if it's something consistent, because they have people they're able to pay their bills and they're just reluctant to. I'm not saying everybody's situation is the same. So if it's a pattern in behavior, they might not want to go and take a risk there. Just my opinion on the matter.
Yeah, but you're talking about the government has accepted 70% of the risk, so just 40% of the risk that's pretty much there. And
yes, true, but it's like you enabling somebody with a bad habit, like
sometimes you have to look at why there is a bad habit. There may be a reason why why there is a bad habit. It's not necessarily a bad habit. Sometimes the person really cannot make it, really cannot afford it.
So I'm guessing now they have to do some more research too, maybe associated with the credits, the debts occurred when doing that, so they can maybe find out what's the reason or whatnot.
Yep, I guess so. So the next The next in terms of the factor for the successful agriculture business is infrastructure development. Infrastructure development plays a critical role in the success of agribusiness. Having a key infrastructure aspect that contributes to the success of agribusiness. Some of those are irrigation and water management infrastructure. A reliable and well-drained irrigation system, including canals, reservoirs for storage, and irrigation system, provides a consistent water supply to the agricultural lands. In terms of the infrastructure, it's very important that you have flood drains on your farm, especially if you're flood-prone area, that you control wastewater effectively on your farm. Also, one of the next one is transportation and logistics infrastructure. Well-connected and efficient transporting network, reliable transportation, roads, facilities, facilitate the movement of agriculture inputs such as produce inputs and machinery to farms. One of the challenges I had when I first started farming in open field farming in around 2011, 2012 was one of the areas I was farming, there was no access to road there. So a tractor could not get to that area. And therefore for years I had to pay much more money for labor to get the land there plowed, until I ended up had to get some equipment to cut a road to go there. And then it became easier for me because a tractor could come down, plow, and reduce my cost of operation. I know a lot of farmers, a lot of persons go through the same, that where they are farming is pretty much very rural and it's off-road and equipment cannot come there to do work for them. So I think they now need to find ways to reduce on their costs. You may view it that it costing you to build a road to an access road to your farm. However, that access road has so many advantages and benefits. It reduces your operating costs significantly. So for persons in that situation, it's useful to consider that. Also, access to power and energy. Access to electricity is essential for agribusiness success. It powers machinery and equipment and enable value-add processing and storage of agricultural products. Some similar to me, I still don't have electricity on that site I'm talking about. And electricity there would be very useful. It can reduce I could have an electric pump and reduce on the amount of gas I use there. It could help you do some of the cleaning and processing after hours there. So when you come, you don't have to carry and read and do the work over. So those key essentials are very useful for the development of your farm and agribusiness. Also, in terms of the irrigation, I spoke only in terms of the points there, but I didn't discuss in terms of effective water management infrastructure such as drip irrigations and recycle system, maximize water wastage, reduce costs, and optimize water usage. Also, another irrigation method you could use is sprinklers. It is much cheaper than the drip line. It's not as effective as a drip line, but it gets the job done. Technology advancement and innovation in agriculture. Technology advancement and innovation plays a pivotal role. Someone have a question? No? Technology advancement and innovation plays a pivotal role in the success of agribusiness. Here are some of the areas which technology can drive improvement and enhance the profitability and sustainability of agribusiness. We have climate smart agricultural techniques such as use of hydroponics, aquaponics. Those systems use much less water. They pretty much, you can control especially in hydroponics, control the nutrients for the plant and increase your production and consistency. We have precision agriculture. Precision agriculture is pretty much use of technology such as GIS, GPS, global positioning system, GIS in terms of geographic information system, to more or less coordinate and apply in terms of whether it's control your environment, control your temperature, control your irrigation, all those can be done remotely. We also have in terms of farm management software. Many farm management softwares can manage a lot of the work we have physical labor doing. Integrate farm management software provides tools for planning, monitoring, and decision making. These systems help farmers optimize resources allocation, track inventory, manage financing, analyze performance indicators. Yeah, those also include in terms of financial information. I'm trying to develop an app for my farm, a farm management app. I've researched quite a lot of farm management apps. There are quite a lot out there and it's quite expensive as well in terms of recurring costs. But I haven't found one to do all what I want, all what I would like. So my plan is to actually develop one. Those things are available. Technology is there to simplify the work. And I think we should utilize them. Internet on Things, IoT, and sensors, those are similar to similar technology used in precision agriculture. So those are where you have in terms of sensors to monitor the environment condition. You have it's called oh, I'm trying, sorry, I forget the word. Those sensors used to collect data also trigger different and more like automate your irrigation system, automate your cooling system and whatnot. We're using those sensors. We have digital marketplace and e-commerce. We have online platforms connecting farmers directly, buyers and farmers connected together. You could use platforms like Facebook, Instagram to market and sell your product as well. We have agricultural biotechnology. Those involved in terms of the improvement in seeds. You have genetic engineering or biotechnology contribute to crop production, disease resistant. I know there are many challenges and questions with the use of genetic enhancement, genetic engineering, but it is available for agriculture to improve the sector. We have data analytics and artificial intelligence, AI. AI is in everything now. AI and machine learning algorithm analyze large data to derive insights to optimize business operation. Those may not available to us locally, but those are technology that is active and being used in agriculture now. We have renewable energy and sustainable practices, pretty much integrating the renewable energy resource such as solar panels, wind turbine, reduce the cost and promote sustainability. the interest of time, I'm trying to, not that I'm rushing, but trying to get through all the slides. You have a few more to go. Any questions in terms of what technology that can be used to improve your agribusiness? There are a few comments in the chat. I am dropping off. I am not here the home and my battery running low. Okay. It's our last class with Jameson. Just want to see if we can put involvement data later. Is there one? So I take it in, no questions in there. We have market linkage and value.
Sorry, Jameson, good evening. I was asking, is there
Market
an
linkage.
app that you would recommend?
Is there an app?
Yeah.
There are a few of them. I haven't found one that, let me see those on my phone. I haven't found one to do all what I wanted to do. But I haven't found a free one though. All the apps are, you have to pay for them. There are some, there is Agro. Towards the end, I will share it when I'm sharing the presentation, the apps available. Okay. So market linkages and value chain integration. Market linkages and value chain integration are essential components of successful agribusiness. They enable farmers and agribusiness to connect with markets, add value to their products, and enhance their competitiveness. Here are the key points highlighting the importance of market linkages and value chain integration. We have their market access to market. We have access to market. We have price discovery and transparency. Access to market facilitates the connection between producer and buyers, allowing farmers to sell their agricultural product at a fair price. Access to market also provides agribusiness with opportunities to increase sales, profitability, and market expansion. Well-established market linkages help farmers understand market demand trends, consumer preferences, allow them to align their production accordingly. So basically, in access to market, you need to know who your customers are. You need to know what your customers' needs are. And once you know this, you understand that you can grow to meet their needs. We also have price discovery and transparency. Pretty much, we know in our local market, the prices is very volatile. It changes very often. When there is a glut, it drops, and it's very hard to go back up. So we want there to be transparency so that middlemen don't continue make high markups on the product and then refusing to give the farmer a greater price for their produce. We have value addition or value add. That's where we can covers more in terms of agro-processing. Value chain integration enable agribusiness to add value to their product through processing, packaging, and branding. So for the agro-processors here, we know that by adding value to the raw product, that you could attract a better price for it. Supply chain efficiency. We actually discussed supply chain earlier on, but just touching on it, supply chain integration, seamless, the flow of inputs, produce, and services across the entire agribusiness. It also enhances collaboration and partnership. value chain integration foster collaboration among different sectors in the different actors in the agriculture sector, such as farmers, producers, traders, retailers. Collaborative partnership allows for knowledge sharing, technology transfer, and joint market efforts. By working together, stakeholders can leverage their strength and expertise, leading to improved productivity, innovation, and market access. We also have consumer engagement and market differentiation. So definitely the market linkages allow for those as well. Market linkage enable direct interaction between producer and consumer, fostering consumer trust, loyalty, and feedback. Engaging with consumers also facilitates the promotion of sustainable and social responsible agricultural practices, meeting the growing demand for ethical, sourced, and environmental friendly products. Capacity building and we have capacity building and skill development. Capacity building and skill development are critical for the success and sustainability of agriculture business, agribusiness. They empower individual farmers and agribusiness stakeholders with the knowledge, skills, and resources necessary to navigate the challenges of the agricultural sector and seize opportunities for growth. Here are some key highlights, some key points highlighting the importance of capacity building and skill development in agribusiness. We have their technical and agricultural skills. Capacity building programs provide training in technical skills relating to agriculture, such as crop cultivation techniques, livestock management, soil fertility management, and pest control. It also developing and enhanced technical skills, improves the productivity and efficiency of farm operations, leading to higher yields and better quality products. We also have business and entrepreneurial skills. Within capacity, we build the skill set of the farmer himself or the supervisors managing the farm. So you find capacity building programs offer training in business planning, management, financial management, marketing strategies, and risk management. Those trainings are available to most or all other sectors, but farming seem to downplay them and don't actually train their members with those skills. Market knowledge and value chain management. We spoke a lot about value chain throughout that agribusiness session, workshop, because that highlights the value and importance of value chain. Also the marketing knowledge. I keep repeating those just to highlight the importance of them. We need to understand the market we're growing to. We need to understand the entire value chain to produce and deliver our products. Technology adoption and digital literacy. We discussed that on the previous slide. And basically, we need to build capacity and programs to promote adoption of modern agricultural technology and digital tools. Training in technology use such as smart agriculture, precision agriculture, farm management software, and data analytics enable agribusiness stakeholders to optimize their production process, reduce costs, and improve decision making. There are some farms locally that have some of those technologies invested and implemented. So it is not far-fetched from us, but we farmers, to improve our efficiency, reduce costs, we need to consider investing in adopting new technology for our agribusiness. Sustainable and climate resilient practices, capacity building, builds initiatives focused on promoting sustainable agricultural practices, include organic farming, agroforestry, water conservative, and climate smart techniques. Training in sustainable practices equip farmers with knowledge of soil and water management, biodiversity, conservation, and climate change adaptation. Developing skills in sustainable agriculture ensures that long-term viability of agribusiness, minimize environmental impact, and meets the demand of conscious consumers. As we all know that our consumers are very conscious, they want to eat healthy, they watch what they eat, they want to eat organic, eat less chemicals. So training can help us to meet those customer needs and also helps our farm to be more sustainable. We have networking and collaboration. Capacity building programs provide platforms for networking and collaboration among agri-business stakeholders, fostering knowledge sharing, partnership, and peer learning. Here for that workshop, there is a group of ladies that it's perfect to start networking. I'm sure you're already doing that, sharing information, whether it's a farmer's market, whether it's the best practice for growing crops. But definitely once there is a group, networking and collaboration should always be encouraged. We have gender inclusivity and social empowerment. Capacity building programs aim to empower women and marginalized groups by providing equal access to training, resources, and opportunities in agribusiness. And I can clearly say that this is actually being done now, where it targets a group of women. It also promoting gender inclusivity, enhancing diversity, bringing different perspectives, and foster social and economic empowerment with rural communities. I have my views on that as well, but I believe everyone, I don't believe in St. Lucia we have any sector that is marginalized, but the result says different. So I've been speaking quite a lot, trying to and quickly trying to end before or within time. So for our next slide, we have success stories in agriculture. I pretty much selected some videos to share. So let me share my screen and then we could play them. So we can just have some idea of successful agriculture.
Over 40 acres of rich farmland, toiled and carefully nurtured by experienced hands and modern technology, is where the journey begins for some of the island's finest quality local produce. Season 2 of the Massey Store's Because We Care campaign comes to a close with a sharp focus on one of the retail company's suppliers of local produce, the Christopher Cox Farm. It's a family-run business and one that is integral to the island's food supply chain. Christopher Cox, founder and owner of Cox Estate, discovered he had a passion for farming from a very early age.
Oh, I was brought up on a farm and somehow I developed a passion for farming. My father was an overseer on quite a few larger estates. And sometimes I say, although that's not something you can inherit, but I would say I inherited that from my father.
Mr. Cox would further pursue an education in the field of agriculture, and by his early 20s, became a trained agriculturalist attached to the engineering division in the Ministry of Agriculture. At the age of 27, he decided to start his own farm in Millet on the island's scenic west coast. Over time, he would develop a selling relationship with Consolidated Foods Limited, the predecessor of Massey Stores. Today, he hails as Massey Stores' largest supplier of bananas, sweet potatoes, dashing, sweet peppers, tomatoes, cucumbers, white yams, eggplant, chives, bora beans, cantaloupe, squash, and his most recent successful pursuits, sweet corn and ginger.
Massey relationship with Mr. Cox started a very, very long time ago. I think it's about 20 years. I joined the company in 2001, so I could say I could remember the relationship from about 2002, right? But the relationship with Mega started in 2008. And now we have him mainly producing goods for Massey Mega.
I'm very proud of my father. I've been proud of him since inception. I am proud of him because he is someone of principle. He's someone of standards. You don't get a different Christopher Cox tomorrow than you get today. If he wants his drains dug that way, that's what is gonna be on the entire 40 acres. You know, he has a very, very good attention to detail. The workers have a joke. They say they can do 1,000 things right. And when he comes onto the field, his eyes are gonna cast on the one spot that you messed up on. Very, very good attention to detail. And he's very neat in his approach to his landscape. He can look at a landscape and tell you, okay, this is what I think we're gonna do here. And when he executes it and you see what he did, it's far surpassing anything you thought it could have been.
Christopher Cox has 3 daughters, and they all have medical degrees. Dr. Crystal Cox, the middle of the 3, rekindled her relationship with her roots and the world of farming, working under her dad as a supervisor of the farm for what was supposed to be a short stint.
About 8 years ago, I wanted to make the transition from St. Lucia. So I wanted to leave. So my father felt that he had reached a point where he may be considering retirement and wanted to know that if we were to continue on with his work, that decision would come from a position of strength and knowledge, not that we were not capable of handling it. So I stayed back for a year. And the purpose was to train, understand everything, understand irrigation, just everything about crop production. And then it has now been 8 years and I never left.
Armed with her science background and understanding of the farming business and the needs of farmers, Crystal's interest and commitment to the sector has mushroomed. She now applies her unique skill sets in her subsidiary business, Tropical Farm Supplies Limited. There she offers agricultural inputs such as fertilizers, peat moss, insecticides, fungicides, and biostimulants, as well as other services necessary for farm productivity and efficiency.
I realized that there was a need in St. Lucia and other farmers needed that service. So that's where Tropical Farm Supplies came in. I started ordering a little extra and selling, and this company is now 4 years old. And it's been doing very well. The farmers have been very supportive. Well, we don't just sell inputs, but we also offer technical advice. So any farmer who has any issues, they send us the pictures on WhatsApp. sometimes they even come in with the plant. They call us for description, and we advise them to the best of our abilities. Not about making that sale, it's about helping the farmers.
No doubt, Massey Stores and the Cox Estate share similar values when it comes to working with farmers. They are both guided by the understanding that good agricultural practices and agricultural development are directly linked.
I can tell you it's very, very important to partner with local people, especially. Number one, those are the same people who come to our stores and shop. Number two, Massey do not grow anything. So a farmer goes, he grows something, we give him that market, buy it from him, sell it, and try to make a profit. So that's the cycle that goes on. So that's why we take it very, very serious, paying our farmers within 7 days, right? And you may know we also have a loan program for our farmers because we want to know our farmers can stay into production and continue producing for our stores. So we take that relationship very, very serious. And without the farmer, we would not have that business.
As the island's largest buyer of agricultural produce and the leading supermarket retailer, much of what the nation is fed comes from Massey Stores supermarket shelves. From his vantage point, as the coordinator of the Massey Registered Farmers Program, Dunstan DeMille is pleased that the company's role has moved far beyond just purchasing and buying arrangements. This type of partnership is welcomed by the Cox Estate team.
Massey has done a wonderful job in terms of causing a lot of farmers to grow in their own way. But working along with them and even in some instances, helping them, financing them. So, I mean, that's commendable. They have really played a big role in promoting agriculture.
Johnson is a very big presence. When he speaks, you believe him. He encourages you, and he also makes you know that Massey and him will stand behind you. So you can take that risk because they will make sure that they do their part. When I first started working with my dad, I remember he said, well, Massey wants to buy the products, and we're capable of a lot more production than we're doing currently. And so I said, well, can the market, absorb everything that we produce? He said, well, let us try. And so far, it has been good.
Of story and legacy is one of commitment and enduring faith in the possibilities of the agricultural sector.
I'm more fortunate than other new farmers in the sense that I came onto a fully functioning farm. I didn't start from scratch. When I started working with my dad, there were vehicles, there was a road structure, and there were machines, tractor implements, there irrigation. The whole 40 acres of farm, it has irrigation. I can put water anywhere. There's a river that runs along the sides and a reservoir. Greenhouses were already set up. I came into a situation of 40 years of development. So again, like I say, I'm very fortunate to have had that. And it was through his sacrifice and his hard work that I'm able to then carry on from that.
No doubt, the business of agriculture is the first love of Christopher Cox, who is wholeheartedly committed to bringing the best quality fruit and vegetables to Massey supermarket shelves for the tables of St. Lucian households.
We have maintained a very good relationship. I think, if at all, the problems out there with him is when he asks me to do things like that interview and take me out of my farming work.
As we bring the curtains down on season 2 of the Because We Care campaign, Massey Stores reiterates its commitment to collaborations with the Cox Farm and by extension, registered local farmers, producers, and manufacturers in the interest of customer satisfaction, as well as economic and social development. Buying local has spin-offs for the entire community and helps to build the resilience of the St. Lucian economy as we enter a post-COVID era.
Yep, thank you for watching that video. That video, it's one of my, well, the farm is actually one of my favorite farms.
You know that a bag of pepper in Ghana costs about.
Sorry about that. Yeah, it is one of my favorite farms. And I just felt that I should play it. So it pretty much captures everything we discuss about farming and an effective farm. The use of technology, use of so many things on the farm. But here is another video of a smaller farm highlighting some more success as well. Let me know if you all seen that. Is everyone seen that video?
No, not yet.
Oh, just so
farming practices. I started off with greenhouses. I grew
The video is muted.
We live in fresh farms and created farms. It was mainly designed to modernize my family farming practices. I started off with greenhouses. I grew tomatoes pretty much year round. One of my customers wanted me to grow lettuce for them, and then shows that we have a water challenge. So this lettuce needs a lot of water. So you have to find it quite a bit. How do I resolve that water issue? So then I came up with designing a rainwater harvesting system. So I built a rainwater harvesting system and then put a water tank over it. So I have a capacity of 50,000 gallons rainwater harvesting. I harvest water from all my greenhouses pretty much, also from the farm. The aquaponics came about trying to meet the customer demand in terms of growing it. And like I mentioned, we have a water issue. And basically after the idea of the tank came about, I discussed with an officer from the Ministry of Agriculture. He basically said I'm going to hydroponics. Then when I researched hydroponics, I came across aquaponics. And I like aquaponics, and I decided, yeah, this is the solution. Aquaponics is basically a combination of fish and plant basically. The fish, where the aqua comes from, the aquaculture, where you rear fish, and plant from hydroponics, where you grow plants in water. So basically, the fish waste provide nutrients for the plants, and the plant routine to filter the water for the fish. So it's a unique, it creates its own ecosystem, and pretty much one supports the other. Any chemicals used on the plants affect the fish. Chemicals used on the fish affect the plants, so it's a fully organic system. The plants do grow faster in aquaponic system than in the soil, also give better and have a longer lifespan. For my aquaponic system, I selected a vertical structure, pretty much growing vertically, one from the other to maximize growing space production for growing, right? We were thinking of getting solar panels. So Jeff came on board and sponsored me some solar panels and some other equipment. So those are in, those help me to utilize 40% saving in my electricity bill less than. But I still have a hefty electrical bill to run the system. But the idea really is if I can harness all the resources around the sunlight, the solar, I can run a system fully sustainable. So the whole idea of Green Haven is to give
fully sustainable. Harvest its own rainwater, harness the energy from the sun, and get the system running, get the farm running. The aquaponics utilize 90% of the water. Even climate change, you have extended drought period, pretty much no rainfall at all, not sufficient water to grow your crop. With aquaponics, you pretty much top up your water maybe sometimes every other week. Sorry, every other day thereabout, and it pretty much retains the water and the water recirculates. So that is actually an excellent medium for mitigating climate change, whereby it uses less water. However, the challenge with aquaponics is it's quite expensive to set up. So there is a barrier of setting up, but outside of that, one set up to satisfaction, yeah, it definitely can be done.
And one last short video to share with you again. Just a second. I hope I have not lost your interest. Share this screen, and there is a small one. Basically centered around changing agriculture and incorporating actual. Yep, thank you for your attention for watching the free short videos. I know we run out a little longer. Is everyone still there? Saw some comments on the chat.
Yes, we are still here, Jameson, and there are some comments in the chat as well.
Still here.
From all of us, we're hoping to be able to visit your farm, even if it's not for free, but at least the methods and ways that, you know.
Mr. Jameson, I would like your contact number, please.
285-5046. I can put it in the chat as well. Yeah, I could see quite a bit of comments.
I didn't quite get the number.
Yes, now let me post it in the comment.
Sure, thank you.
You briefly mentioned traceability earlier on. How do you think can traceability be implemented by small-scale farmers or generally on the island of St. Lucia?
I practice it on my farm, basically keeping records. You should have a production record in terms of what you apply to what you treat the plants with, the date you plant, what chemicals you use. So that will help you know in terms of the post-harvest period for the farm. You also need to pretty much mark your growing areas. So the idea about traceability is if there is any contamination issue, someone should be able to come on your farm and identify the area the crop come from without having anyone there, because all that information should be documented somewhere, and you could trace back and see everything that has been used on the farm.
Thank you.
All right, but it's quite easy. You could contact me. I post my number and I can help you develop one, because I've done one for my farm, because I'm required to do it for my next for one of my customers.
Okay, Mr. Jameson, so somebody put in the chat, if someone has a business plan, will you be willing to look at it to advise it? If so,
Yeah,
can
sure.
you provide it?
Sure, I can do that. Yep.
Yes, so can you provide an email or number we can?
Yeah, I'll put my email on as well.
James says very interesting and informative sessions with the Apple. Thank you. Alison said yes, very interesting. Celia Abraham said, can we do a site visit?
Yes, That can be arranged. My contact me on my farm. So one of the things I've done on my farm, I pretty much diversify away from agriculture. So I'm creating a agritourism tour. So I created more like an eco park. I have a small zoo. I have some animals. I have a herbal garden. So the idea really is to diversify my agriculture practices. So it's not about only for me growing crops, but also welcoming persons, introducing persons to what I do, how I do it. And we also sell a farm to table meal. So the fish you all see, the tilapia you saw, I swipe up. Yeah, we do serve that to our guests as well.
Deborah Favorite said, I have taught the farm and it's very impressive.
Not
Wow,
sure.
breathtaking. Another comment by Michael.
Once I'd like to visit, please let me know how we can. Yeah, you could contact me through my number. Can we visit the farm? Very interesting. Very interesting decision. I know today's session I sort of rushed it, but I hope everyone got the
number does not show on or the email. I can see that.
Yeah, it is there.
Are you
Oh,
sharing
sorry,
everyone?
sorry. It wasn't everyone. Let me put it back.
Yeah.
It wasn't for everyone. Yeah. And the email was not for everyone as well. Or the farm email. So any comments on the videos you also? The use of agribusiness, the development of agribusiness into an enterprise. Any comments on those? Anyone has comment? No? We still have one more slide to go. Pretty much we talk about the successes. I know we're out of time, but I'll just run through it quickly. In terms of some of the challenges in agribusiness development. And to name a few quickly, we have access to finance. I suffer from that. My hands up with all my fingers spread out. We have market volatility and price fluctuation. My hands is also up. Limited infrastructure. I'm not totally limited. Climate change and environmental risk. We all suffer from that. I have some in terms of technologies and infrastructure to mitigate from that as well. We have limited technology adaptation here. My hands up. I'm trying to introduce more technology to simplify my farm. Access to land and land fragmentation. My hand not totally up, but yes, I'm part of that limitation as well. Skills and knowledge, I think we all are. And policies and regulation barriers, we all affected and impacted by the same policies. I think this was the last slide. So for conclusion, anyone have any questions? What you all think of the 3-day sessions?
I have a question.
Erin, I find it was very informative. You took your time out to explain very well. And it was thought-provoking, very enthusiastic, and yeah, it kept me awake.
That is good, thank you.
I have a question.
Sure, go ahead.
Do you use any river water as part of your irrigation process? And if you do you have a filtration process with the river water?
Yes, I use irrigation. River water, but no, I don't filter it. No, I apply it straight to the soil. Why should I filter the river water?
Because I was doing as a matter of fact, an online course, and they were talking about that it is not wise to use river water directly. You must filter it because they could have bacteria. They could have a lot of maybe persons in the higher heights using chemicals. You don't know what exactly they're using, so it can affect your farm.
Yes,
if you don't filter it.
I agree to that. I also test the water on my farm at least every quarter now. But at least once a year it's tested. But the river water we use on the farm, there is a government irrigation system, which is quite a distance from me. I had to pipe the water. That water comes pretty much where the river starts. Wasco takes water around the same area as well. So there is not much, if any, activity happen on the river where we capture the water from. So it's pretty clean, and we do test the water. But it is important to test the river water, especially for bacteria like E. coli, salmonella, and those. Especially if there are animals, warm-blooded animals on the river.
Thanks for that.
You're welcome. Any other question? If not, if you have no further questions, I would like to end the session today. Thank you for your time.
Mr. Alphonse, I see Michael Brown phone on this. Michael, do you have a question?
Sorry, I spoke already. I'm gonna take my hand off.
Okay, before you leave, Mr. Jensen, you asked me to conduct something for you. Do you want me to share
No,
the
no.
result?
Please, no.
Yes, so all persons who are here participated in the poll, and that's 61 participants. Out of the 61 participants, 9% said that they do have a business bank account, and 52% said that they do not have a business bank account.
So that means that is a challenge with this group. So we need to create separate bank accounts for our businesses. The bank will request you to have a business registration, and after you register your business, you will take that document to the bank to create the business bank account. But it is very important to separate your business finances from your personal finances. And you could see it's a huge difference, 15% versus 85%. Well, I know quite a bit of you all don't have a separate business, but when I say separate business, I mean a registered business. But it's important to, if there is any takeaway from that exercise, 1, register your business. 2, develop a business plan. And 3, create a separate bank account for your business. And should you need any advice, you could find some advice from someone with the knowledge, the know-how. I could also assist if you contact me, depends on, yeah. All right, so everyone have a good night. Enjoy the rest of your.
Thank you, Mr. Jameson. Very important session this evening.
Thank you very much. Yep, most welcome.